Okay, so today we're doing our new project, abortion. It's a substitute. What it is it's a procedure that uses medicine or a surgery that they go in and they kill the fetus. There's two different choices that people want it. There's pro-life, and what that is people against it. And they think that every life should be saved. We should not kill a baby, even if it's only a fetus and it's not really, and it doesn't even have a heartbeat. You should not be allowed to kill it. Or there's the other choice, and that's pro-life, and that's pro-choice. What pro-choice is that women should have a choice on what they do. They can kill the baby if they want to, if they don't want to have it, or they don't have to. Then my opinion on it is I think pro-choice is better because everyone should have a choice. They shouldn't be made to do what they want. Done.
I personally stand with pro-choice because it's like, to me, it's a better option than pro-life. Like, it's understandable why, you wouldn't want to technically kill the baby, but at the same time, the person that like is carrying the baby should have an option. Um, yeah.
Even our first part of this skit thing, and you just saw me talk about my opinion on abortion and my opinion on pro-choice, and then you saw Luis jumping over a desk and him talking about pro-choice. But now we're going to go on to the next things, more informational part, and that would be a current event right now about it, and then just some things about the after effects on a woman's body and an emotional state. But first, let's talk about the current event right now. It's happened in Texas. You might say, what is that? Well, you see right there, Governor Greg Abbott, he signs a law to one of the most strict abortion laws or measures ever. You might say, what is that? Well, what it's doing is it's banning all abortions to only 6 weeks. You might say, what does that mean? Well, from 1 week to 6 weeks, after 6 weeks of a fetus or an embryo is in a woman's body, it starts to have a heartbeat. And they believe that when it has a heartbeat, that shouldn't be killed. So that's why in from 1 to 6 weeks, you can do what you want, but after that, you have to let the baby live. But what's happening is, as we see here, abortion saves lives. We demand bodily, yada yada yada. And these would be pro life people. But yeah, as we see, but now I don't know if it's here. But what happened was, this this went through Supreme Court. I saw it somewhere that this went through Supreme Court, and and they said no, it's just too strict and it just shouldn't be done. So now what they're going to try and do is try and go through the Roe v. Wade law. And you might say, what is that? That's allowing abortions to even happen. So they're going to try and tack it, meaning maybe make it less and make it so in all, not just in Texas, in all states, that abortion, it's less weeks and pro-life is better. But now let's get into the other part of this, is the more after effects. You might say, what are they? Well, couple there are a couple things like, well, first thing we have is that I saw in a place that on Google, that couple things that really does to your body is, some of the side effects are cramping, pelvic pain, urinary damage, injury to the bowel, bladder, or cervix, and heavy bleeding or more serious complications. Blood loss damage, blood blood loss, damage to uterus, and infection are the most common side effects, and that's just the woman's body. Then there are also after effects on an emotional stand, and we have sometimes if they wanted they, as we see on those site that we'll go back in a bit, it says more that someone might want to have a baby, but the thing is, they just don't want to have it at that time. So then they get a relief. Also, if you're a younger person and you have one and you have a child and you don't want to, having an abortion might give you a relief. It might calm you down that you don't have to deal with that and have to pay for it and everything, and they might give happiness to a person so they feel better. But then later in time, you might start to feel more sad and grief and loss and regret that you could have had a baby, he could have had a full life, and you could have been a mother or a father, yeah. In 10 years in the future, we'll probably feel that, but then, or you could feel happy that you did it and that you didn't have to go through that pain of having to deal with the child every day and doing school and everything. And then finally, if we look at 14 abortion facts everyone should know, first, we have that, yeah, yeah, as we see here, this says many people who get abortions or don't regret their choices. Instead, they often feel grateful for abortions. Anyone sign that they are not ready to be pregnant or they do not want to undergo the risk of pregnancy and birth in that moment, that's all the information they have. And that's why they should really, and that's why some people or some women want to have an abortion to so they don't so then they don't have to undergo the risks of pregnancy and birth. And that's really as much information I really have on this. It's a big subject. There's a lot of sides of pro-choice. There's a lot of sides of pro-choice, and there's a lot of sides of pro-life. My stance is just I think pro-choice. Every woman should have the ability to choose if they want to keep their child or kill it, even if it's. But finally, I do think that if when it's early, even if it has a heartbeat, if it's still a fetus or something like that, and it's not really a baby, it has a head and a body and arms and everything, and legs and everything, I would say you can kill it however you want. But when it starts to be a real baby, and when you look at it at the doctor's office and you see that looks like a real child, I don't think you should kill because that's a real child only under certain circumstances, like if it'll only live for like a day because it has a disease or something like that, then you should kill it because it's going to have a day of life and then it's going to have a day of grief and then it will die in a day. And that's all the information I could come in. Thank you all for watching this amazing skit. Bye.